Hi, this is Heidi, episode 37, 3 words to stop saying. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello, friends and listeners, new and those of you who have listened to all my episodes. Remember to click subscribe in your iTunes or wherever you listen to this podcast. Then every Wednesday, the show pops up with the notification that a new episode is here. And I want to read a review each week. And LF Wynn wrote this a couple months ago. She wrote, I look forward to every episode. Each one has a golden nugget of information that I can apply to my life immediately. Thank you, Lori. I know that was my sweet friend, Lori. Please, if you can rate, hi, this is Heidi, and leave a review in iTunes. This will help other people access these tools. And I'm going to start a new contest. And when I get 100 ratings and reviews, I'm going to send a $100 gift card to somebody randomly picked who left one of those reviews. So go in and do it. It only takes a couple minutes. And your review could be one that I read on a future episode. So we are all still quarantined, and here in Massachusetts, we are in the third week in April 2020. We are in what they are saying is like the peak and the surge of this virus here in our state. And this week they announced that schools are going to be closed for the rest of the year, or like the kids are only doing online school through June. And while we all totally expected this news, my kids were really sad to hear it this week. My daughter, who's in 7th grade, rattled off like all the fun things that she really looks forward to at the end of the year and she's going to miss. And my oldest is a junior, so he isn't missing as much as the seniors, but still it's this routine and their friends and they really miss it. And wow, my heart really goes out to all those seniors and all you parents of seniors. This is sad for you. Allow yourself and allow your kids to be sad and disappointed and whatever all of you need to feel right now. They looked forward to things that now look uncertain. It's hard for them. This is going to be hard for you. And give all of your family space to feel everything. These emotions are part of life. A few good questions like you can ask your teen just to get them talking is, how do you feel about all this? What do you miss about school? What don't you miss? My daughter rattled off some teachers she's very happy not to see. But listen to your kids. Let them open up. Don't try to fix or change their emotions. Our kids will talk more when we don't talk and we just listen. So a few things have come up this week as I've been coaching a lot of clients, and I want to spend this episode telling you 3 words or phrases that I want you to stop saying. And I'm going to give you detailed reasons and examples for each of them. The first word I want you to edit out of your thoughts and conversations is I have to. I have to make dinner. I have to go to my nephew's baseball game. Anytime we say I have to do something, the emotion we generally feel is obligation. So I've taught you that your thoughts create what you feel. And what you feel is the fuel to your actions. So when we feel obligated, we act in a certain way. First, we act like someone else is making us do something. But that isn't true. It just feels okay to try to make someone else responsible. And if we're going to a baseball game out of obligation, we aren't going to be engaged, we're not going to be as present, our face and body are going to be different and less engaging. We talk to people differently when we're doing anything out of obligation. And we're not being 100% responsible for our actions. We're kind of being like a victim, which I talked about last week, when we do everything because we have to. Subconsciously, we have little villains in our life. I have to make dinner for my kids. Like I'm the victim of dinner time and my family's the villain. Well, that just doesn't make sense. Always saying I have to do something is also not honest because we don't have to do anything. The reality is we choose to do things. We choose to make dinner every night. And maybe the choice is to put out cereal, or some nights it's fast food like it was for my family last night. But feel in your body the difference between I have to, which creates obligation and guilt, to I choose to, which creates power and commitment or determination. I choose to stay home to obey my governor's order and to protect myself and others right now during this virus. I'm choosing to work so I can provide for my family and so I can grow my gifts and talents. When we take back the power and start choosing all of these things that we felt we had to do, we bring back power and positive fuel into our lives. And think about how we show up when we're choosing to be somewhere versus feeling like we have to be somewhere. We carry our body differently. We smile and speak with more confidence and positivity. We don't want to give away our power to select what is and isn't in our lives. Now, I want you to think of smaller things in your life that you feel like you have to do. You don't have to wake up early to exercise or to be to work on time or whatever you're doing early. Decide that you are choosing to do that. There's going to be a little bit extra energy to get you moving in the morning. You don't have to pay your bills. You're choosing to pay your bills so you're a responsible citizen, so your credit score stays high, so you continue to get the services that you want to get. It's a choice, and it's who you want to be. Now, one of the cool side effects of switching out of I have to I choose to is that we start to see things in our lives all of a sudden that we don't want to choose. Since we're stopping blaming others and we take back responsibility, we might stop doing things that we just don't want to do. We take back the power to say no, which has always been within our power. I remember feeling like I had to attend a school meeting. And when I started saying, well, do I want to choose this meeting? I stopped going. I didn't want to go out of obligation. And it turns out I didn't want to go out of choice either. So switching those words first gets us better energy in our lives. We're more pleasant to be around, and we stop doing things that we really don't want to do. Okay, word number 2 to edit out of your thoughts and conversations, and I've mentioned this before, I'm sure I'm going to keep on talking about it because it's so sneaky. This is the word should. We use it like this: I should have more money in my 401k. I should have majored in something different in college. And worse, we use the word to judge other people. You should fold your clothes this way. You should give me a gift like this on my birthday. Husbands should make breakfast for their wives. Families should do this for one another. In both cases, when directed at ourselves and at others, we're saying, you are less than. I know what's right. You are wrong. Something's broken with you. You need to change so that I will think better thoughts about you. The word should is so rooted in not being enough. And I'm right. So when we direct it at ourselves, I should weigh 120 pounds. We say something's wrong with us where we are now. It's another way to deny reality. This morning, okay, this is actually for real, and it's just the gravitational pull on my body. I weighed myself. I was 149.4 pounds. I weigh that because my diet and exercise and biological makeup have come together so that on April 21st, I weigh that. I shouldn't weigh anything else. I'm perfect, which means complete right now. If I say I should be anything else, I'm placing a lot of judgment on myself, saying something's wrong with me, which it isn't, regardless of what it is. Should creates judgment that we've made the wrong choices, which we haven't. We've done everything right to get ourselves where we are. Maybe we learn more along the way, but we can't judge yesterday's decisions with today's information. Thinking I should have sold my stock back before the market dipped isn't true or helpful. What's the upside to thinking that we didn't do the right thing? This is where so much sneaky perfectionist thinking and judgment can be controlled and stopped. Life isn't all black and white, all or nothing, right or wrong decisions. If you're going to should yourself, then tell yourself life should be exactly as it is, because you always make the best decision with the information you have, and you're going to keep doing that. Now, the big danger of shoulding other people: my high schooler should have better grades. My husband should drive more cautiously. My daughter should keep her room clean is, okay, first, we think we know what's right for other people, which we don't. So should puts us in a place of this false superiority and judgment. I do it right, you do it wrong. And when we should other people, especially our children, we suddenly can't see them exactly as they are. We see their perceived deficiencies instead of their strengths and achievements. Have you ever heard someone say, oh, my son's grade shouldn't be too high? No, it's the opposite. When we say should about our family, it's to point out where we think they aren't doing a good enough job, where they aren't meeting our expectations, which it isn't their job to meet our expectations. Should robs the bank of love that we can feel towards other people. And we want people to change thinking they should be different just so we can feel different. Okay, here's an example. My 13-year-old daughter has an interesting way of keeping her bedroom together. I spent a long time, way too long, wishing she was neater, wondering why the heck she should have to have everything out of place. I thought she should be more organized, that she should keep things in a different way. So much judgment. And guess what? I felt the judgment, not her. And she would only see how I acted when I would stay in that judgment and I'd be so mad about things. And it was all these emotions that I was bringing on to myself. So I spent a good amount of time really trying to accept how her room is, why it's supposed to be exactly this way, why it's exactly as she wants it, and really questioning what my problems were with her room. And honestly, I could see that I wanted her room to be neat so that I could, and so I still can think things like, oh, this is so nice. She is so organized and all that. I want to feel happy and calm and peaceful. But I realized back when I was judging it that I could create that happy and calm feeling without the room changing at all. Her 75 pieces of clothing on the floor aren't jumping into my head to make me think that she's going to be super messy in college and no one's going to want to live with her, which just so isn't true because she's the life of the party. I realized I have control over what I make her room mean. Now, this doesn't mean I don't have rules about things that we allow or don't allow in bedrooms. This isn't a free-for-all. But in my case, I was creating a ton of judgment and criticism in my head and lack of love for my daughter, all because of how I thought she should be organizing her room. I've come so far, and I love the ownership and accountability that she feels. And I like how I now can talk to her about her room. I'm much more curious and understanding and motivating when it's not coming out of this judgment. Now, another place should is dangerous is when we tell ourselves or others that they shouldn't feel a certain way. Or maybe we say, oh, you should feel happy about whatever happened. When we're saying this, we're saying you're wrong to feel the way you feel. We're passing judgment that we know everything about their life, which we don't, and we're saying that we're interpreting that they're feeling wrong about their life. It's not helpful to tell our children you shouldn't be scared to go try out for that team. When we do that, we invalidate what they're feeling. We make them doubt their emotions, and they're going to be much less likely to share other emotions and experiences with us. Since we're judging them and telling them that they're doing it wrong, everyone gets to feel however they want to feel. We also get to feel however we want to feel. We don't get to tell ourselves that we should feel guilty that we kept our job while others are getting laid off during this virus. We can feel guilty, or we can feel peaceful or successful or nervous. We get to choose that. But there is no emotion we should be feeling. Now, don't use this information to now judge yourself with all of the shoulds that you're going to start finding. Okay, don't do that. When you become really aware of them, I like to just kind of neutralize the thoughts or judgment in my head. I'm not trying to suddenly turn a negative into a positive. You can just say, it's okay to be happy. I have my job right now while others feel different. It's okay for my daughter to want that $500 prom dress. She can want it. It's okay for my husband to be irritated with anything during a quarantine. He is being perfect. Okay, so here is the third word and phrase I want you to consider editing from your thoughts and conversations. And this is telling someone that they are wrong. Now, I'm not talking about when you're grading math papers and you find a wrong answer. Think about all the ways in which we think there is a right and a wrong. Just the other day, I caught myself thinking that my son set the table wrong, that my mom taught me the right way to put out the utensils and that he was doing it wrong. Now, yes, there are great etiquette lessons and classes for kids, and I could take the time, and I'm sure I will at some point, to gently teach my kids. This is more the quick mental judgment, and sometimes, let's just say often there can also be verbal judgment. Oh, this is the wrong way to set the table, the wrong way to measure flour from the bag. Oh, that's the wrong way to clean a bathroom. Oh, that's the wrong way to wash a car, the wrong way to drive to the mall. Or that's the wrong way to live during a quarantine. Or the wrong way for a teacher to assign work or grade work. So very much like having so many shoulds in our mind, watch all the ways we think and say something's wrong. And it might be, ugh, I always say the wrong thing. No, we don't do or say the wrong thing. So much of life isn't black and white. When we start accepting all of us, we can then be so much more loving of other people. We don't know what's right or wrong for anyone else. When I was so judging my son about setting the table wrong, my judgment and criticism was continuing to look for ways in which he was doing it wrong. I was in this framework of correcting him. Luckily, this was all going on in my head, and I caught myself. There were so many other ways he was right. If I really had to be all or nothing, I should have been looking for that right. If I want him to keep setting the table, it's better for me to praise him, not criticize him. Now, as parents, we feel an obligation to teach our children. But guess what? They would rather learn from teachers who are positive and motivating rather than criticizing and negative. So let's change our have-tos to choose to. Let's watch all the shoulds and the wrongs, and we will take back so much emotional control. And not even so others respond better to us, but so we like being with ourselves more. And it's fun to start liking yourself more. Okay, guys, have you heard the wind howling here in Massachusetts while I record this podcast? It is crazy. Some exciting things are happening here at Heidi Benjaminson Coaching. News is coming soon. If you want to jumpstart on changing how you feel and act around your family, if you want more confidence and calm, if you want to stay off the teenage emotional roller coaster, sign up for a consult call on HeidiBenjaminson.com. I have a few open each week. You need a life coach. I need a life coach. Everyone needs a life coach. You will not regret it. I'll see you next week.